that out. Remember that?
Yes. Sorry, it went off on me. I hit the wrong button. So now we're recording. So you're first of all, she was telling me that she needed to turn on her computer and it didn't work because they were painting and she forgot to plug it in.
That's not the gist, but that's okay. Moving on.
She forgot to
Uh,
plug it in.
Second part of it is I'm talking about what the 50 moments that we all have. So they happen every day, all day long. And we wish you would share some of your what the 50 moments too, because one is when we record YouTube, we record it live. So we have to use our phone. And so I
Yep.
have to, in order to put it in my stand, I have to take my cover off. Well, as soon as we're finished and I take it out of the stand, I have learned I must immediately put this cover back on because there is a 99% chance I'm going to drop it. 50, and your grip's just not as well. And then the second part I was telling her is the computer. I go to turn it on and it won't turn on. And I go to turn it on. Well, of course, your first thought is great. Now I'm going to have to spend $1,000 and get a new computer because mine's
Exactly.
older. Then I went through that. Okay, is it charged? Da, da. Then I remember they were painting yesterday and they unplugged it. So you have to turn it back on.
Oh,
All day, every day. There are so many
oh,
things that you could share with us and we could share with you that are just what the
oh.
50 moments.
I do that at work all the time. I'm singing, right? And I'm like, hello, 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 microphone's not working, something's not working. And it's just because I didn't hit the power button on something. I've got like 8 power buttons, so at least that gives me a little excuse. I got stuff to, all the things, but I've only been
Exactly.
doing it for 40 years, right? So you'd think that you could remember to push all the buttons.
You would think, but you guys have no idea how many times. Today we did really well, but the day
We did.
we did. Normally we something can't get the live going, and then we go to do the Zoom. Often with the Zoom, I also do a weekly meeting with my office Zoom. So when I do that, I take the what the 50 away and I have the palm tree. Well, when Danica does me with Zoom, if I don't take it off what the 50, we don't have Zoom. And then I'm trying to click it, it cuts her off. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yep, it
What
is. It's crazy.
which is
It
why, I'm sure like everybody, notepads everywhere because I can't remember crap. And it's like, oh, surely I can remember to do that in 10 minutes. Nope. I know. I
everywhere.
know.
I mean, if you could see my desk. But then it's so funny because then you've got notepads on top of notepads on top of notepads. And then what I realize is I have my notes and then I go through and I read them and I've got like 4 pages of the same notes because I
Oh
forgot that I
yeah.
wrote it down. I already wrote it down.
And then I mark off when I do it, but then the next morning I'm like, well, I don't really need this long sheet that has like 8 things marked off and forth. So you start a new page and oh my God. Oh my God. I'm telling you,
Exactly.
getting
Exactly.
older is never boring and always
No,
a
it's
challenge.
not. It is. But it is. It is. But I think it's an awesome challenge. I really do.
Oh, I'll take a lot of the pros that come with it, as we often talk about, of, you know, not caring what people think anymore, doing
Oh,
what makes you happy and quit exhausting yourself, making
yes.
everybody else happy, and you have zero energy left for yourself. That's the best thing about getting older, I swear. It is.
I
It's
think so too.
my
Yep.
favorite.
No, absolutely. In fact, it's funny if you could see the front of my desk or my computer, I've got like 10 or 15 little wooden fucks. They say fuck, 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 fuck. And one of my friends at one of the Dr. Trivedi seminars that I went to, every time we'd go, he'd walk around with a jar and he'd say, here, I'm going to give you a fuck because I don't give a fuck. So I'm going to give it to you and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I have all my I don't give a fucks up here. And it's so awesome. It is so awesome. And I have
It is
people come over and go, oh, it's interesting. Your
interesting.
computer says fuck, 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 fuck. Like
Are you
it's
having a moment that you have all these out for a reason?
no, it just reminds me that, I don't, it's so funny, but no, I love it. But it's funny because I also feel like as I'm getting older, I don't know if I'm getting more sentimental, less sentimental, or what, because I find that
Oh,
I think maybe both. It depends on
oh,
what it is, because, it's like earlier we had an episode on holiday traditions. Our live was that. And, I used to have like my grandma's nativity scene. There's nothing that could have made me get rid of it. Then I realized it's just a thing, but then I have this, and this was my grandma's, and I wear it every day. It's one of my most prized possessions. So that is so sentimental, but it's just like, I don't know. It's interesting because some things I'm just like, I could never not have that or keep that or do that. And then some things I'm like giving away and people are like, I can't believe you don't have that anymore. I can't believe you did it. It's like, well, And that's one of the things too. When people buy me gifts, like I would rather have a gift certificate somewhere. I'd rather go to dinner with you. I'd rather do something like that because you buy me something, I probably won't keep it. I'm being honest, unless it's
Well,
something I really need or whatever. But it's like I don't have room for things. I don't have room for
you don't have
things.
rooms, but I found the first time I ever maybe it was brought to my attention is when I got married. And you go do a registry of things you want, and then
Right.
people buy you colors you didn't have on there and things you didn't want. And I went to return them to the store and I said, I'm not sure what happened. I had these towels down, but I had them in these two colors and they got those colors. And she just bust out laughing. She goes, "Yep, people buy what they want you to want, not what you want." She goes, "We have it happen all the time. That's why you bring it back." She goes, "We even try to tell them, she had these colors. Those are probably her colors. Yeah, I don't like those colors." Go to your fucking house. And so same thing with gifts. I agree. As we've gotten older, um, I don't have any friends that I want to say we buy gifts for anymore. We either go out to eat or we go on a vacation together. As you say, a gift certificate. And I don't attempt to buy them things either. I'm going to a party Friday and it's bring an ornament.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how her tree's decorated. I mean, obviously she doesn't care, or she maybe would have put a theme. But that is an example. When I do my tree, I'm very specific because I'm OCD. I do have a certain color pattern, which is not red and white and green. It's more Indian colors. It's purples and turquoises. So the odds are, if you bought me an ornament, I'd be regifting it.
I probably could do that. If you might, I don't think you could look at my Christmas tree. My Christmas tree would send your head spinning. I have a squirrel for a topper. And that's a tradition now with Emerald and I. That's funny. A couple of things I forgot to talk about on our tradition one, but because I bought it for her dad and he's terrified of squirrels, and so he made sure that I kept it when he moved out. But we put it on the top of the tree, and then I have my mom's little elf on the shelf that's this big and doesn't even have legs anymore, so it's just like a head, which is kind of creepy. But I don't know why it's on my tree. But every year we get an ornament. So this year when we went to San Antonio Zoo last weekend and we got a little ornament and it has all our names on it. Danica, or it has Emerald Mama, Canty Meowie, and now Toffee and Gummy Bear because now we have the bunnies. But it's absolute chaos and it's a rainbow tree. So,
That's your tree.
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
But then I love those organized, beautiful trees like I'm sure yours was. Just I
Yeah.
love them. But
But I do this, my sister made like literally homemade ornaments.
mm,
And my niece still has what has lasted all these years because we're talking I'm 55 and my sister had it from the time I was a kid. So
that's
some didn't
awesome.
make it. But she made felt with the stuffing. And so an example, she had all the Wizard of Oz characters.
Oh, so
She had, yes, so cool. And she actually did a really, really good job. She also always had, and she still has it to this day, and they're almost impossible to find, bubble lights.
Oh, really?
Bubble light, yes.
Oh my gosh, I remember bubble lights. I haven't seen them
Oh,
for
she
years.
didn't put any other lights but bubble lights.
Cool.
So her tree was so unique,
Yeah,
but so awesome.
fun.
I always loved my sister's Christmas tree that nobody else had one like.
Yep.
Wouldn't be something I would do,
Yeah.
but I absolutely, so, in that kind of goes back to the what the 50 plus two is, you have to learn that your friends and family may not do things the way you want, how you want, etc. But they're being themselves and don't ever say
Exactly.
anything that makes them question it. I would never come to your house and be like,
Why
why
the
do you
fuck
have
did
a
you do that?
squirrel on your tree? Instead, I'm
Exactly.
going to be like, okay, what's the story with the squirrel on the tree? Because
Exactly.
there is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I used to have my tree and it was all fairies. I have beautiful fairies, and that would make more sense. You would understand that immediately because I'm the fairy
Right.
child. But yeah, no, I agree. It's like, it's really nice and it's a shame. In fact, it's something I'm gonna really, 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 really work at teaching Emerald. To just be herself. I let her dress
Others be
however
different.
she wants. She wore jammies yesterday. She has a new little bunny outfit that's the one piece jammies, and she just wants to wear it. Like, I don't care. Wear it. You want to wear one purple sock, one green sock, two different shoes? Go for it. Unless we're going out to a beautiful dinner or something that
You
is a
also teach
specific
them there is a
reason.
time and a place that we have to act and dress a certain way.
Because
That's
yeah,
the reality.
this is what we're doing. We're
We're
dressing up.
going to a wedding.
Yeah,
You
we're
can't
gonna be
wear jeans.
pretty. But the funny thing is it I would care less if it was my wedding and these kids came in with one purple sock and one purple. You know what I mean? I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't. Well, when I got married, I said it's a big party with a wedding in the beginning. It is casual or dressy, come as
Whatever
you
you
want.
want.
So my
Exactly.
uncle came in a pair of shorts and a dress shirt.
I love
And
it.
that's my uncle, you know, and I had a couple people, I'm going to say acquaintances versus friends because they were my husband's friends, said, "Who's that guy over there in the shorts?" I said, "That's my favorite uncle." And I said, "And that's so him." And I
Yep.
told him, he asked, he said, "So what do you want?" I said, "What do you want to wear?" And he said that. I go, "Then wear it."
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't about what he was wearing. It was about him being there for me on my special day.
My uncle
If
got
you
married in
have
a
it, then you
tuxedo.
put
Yeah. Well, if you want something specific, you got to say something specific.
exactly
White tie, whatever. But my uncle got married in his tuxedo and purple high tops. It was awesome.
because that's what he wanted.
Exactly. So yeah, but so it is. It's nice that, and so I want her to know that now because I think it's so common
Especially
for
when you
people
teach them.
to, well, because we project our shit on our kids, and so they think that they have to be a certain way or do a certain thing. I mean, my daughter should be in school right now, but she was really tired this morning, and she said, "Mommy, I really need to go back to bed." I'm like, "Go back to bed, and we'll get her school done. We
As
will."
long as she gets her school done.
Exactly. Unfortunately, me homeschooling, but even if I wasn't homeschooling, the way she asked today, I probably would have let her stay home
Yeah, you
because
just
she's
need.
growing. Things are sometimes you need that. And you know what? The thing is I haven't learned until now, and I still struggle with it to do the things that I need to when I need them.
I think
I
we all.
still struggle giving myself that time. Like if I need a day just to watch Netflix all day and eat what I want, I
It's
I I
okay.
I allow myself to do it, but not as much as I probably should. And so I
But
want her to know.
that's the great part of what the 50 plus. We're
Yeah,
learning that, hey, my body says today I need to rest. And unless you have, a deadline or appointment you can't cancel, et cetera, there's circumstances. But if everything else could just be put aside, take your day.
yeah.
You need to go lay by
Take
the
two
pool,
days.
get sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I think you're right. From the time we're young, we're just not allowed to be that way.
No,
And the other thing you're saying that I think it's important is you're teaching her at a young age not to be influenced by outside chatter
anything. Yes.
because the
Yep.
chatter is what fucks you up your adult life. You
Million
listen
percent.
to it, you follow it, and it takes you forever to get over those. And again, I always say what the 50 plus, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do it is, and I'm still learning, but I have come so far starting in my 40s. 40 really, when I turned 40, I thought, why does anybody get to have a say so over my happiness? I
Exactly.
pay my bills.
Yeah.
You know, nobody, I don't depend on anybody that they get to have an influence. Now, having said that, I said this the other day to my girlfriends. They were asking me if I got in another relationship, what would I look for? And I said, I do want a man that's in charge. And I know that people are going, right, Susan. I do. I want a man that's in charge, but I also want a man that respects my opinion enough to ask it and consider it before making the decision.
Do you know what?
I
I
think,
understand that completely.
right?
I want a man that knows he's a man. I mean, because we're men and women, and obviously we both support everybody. We support gays, lesbians, all of that. But for us, with a man, I do. I want a chivalrous man. I want a man who'll open my
That's the
door. I love it. Do you know how sexy it is when you go to a restaurant and a man asks you what you'd like to eat and then they order for you?
I
It
know.
is so sexy.
I love the car door open. I
Yep.
love the chair pulled out. I
Yeah,
love them to ask what you want or make suggestions if they pick the restaurant you haven't been to. That
exactly.
means I have to order, but just say, and I do that with friends.
Oh
I
yeah.
say, order what you want, but I've had this and this and it's amazing.
I do the same thing. I do the
Yeah.
same thing. Well,
But
and
you're right. I
also
think it is sexy.
one of the things I love too is when because this is something that has to be passed down because I don't, it's just unfortunately kids are not being taught these things anymore. When they walk on the outside of the sidewalk, when you're walking down the street. The first time I had that happen, I like literally stopped for a second. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I want you on the inside away from the traffic. And I just look, it's
I
just
know.
like, oh,
And in the men's
that
defense,
actually gave me nipple chills. It's
honestly,
just
and
beautiful. It's loving and protective.
it's just it's being masculine. And
Yes.
that's, if you're with a man, you want to be with a man. Or if you want to be with a woman,
Oh,
you be with
and
a
then
woman.
also take charge in bed. That's one other whole thing. This like, wow, uh-huh. Yeah.
But in the men's defense, they are so confused. I mean, I talk to my guy friends and they're like, I don't know. I do it. And then someone's like, you think I'm not smart enough to do it? So who's out to the men? I guess all I can say is ask.
Yeah,
Are you and I had this asked before on a date, are you the type of woman that wants me to direct the evening? And I said, go for it.
there you
It
go.
doesn't mean I
I
can't stay.
love that he asked. That's
But
incredible.
he asked. And of course, he's our age, but that's all I can say, guys. So just ask.
Yeah.
Um, and then if you get the one and she doesn't, and you like that, great. But there you go.
Then
Just ask.
yeah, then you know.
And I thought it was
Absolutely.
nice he didn't use the word control. And not that I care because I don't take that offensively, but I could see a lot of women doing that. Do you mind if I direct the evening?
That is so cool.
So you can use that, guys. I'll
Yeah.
let you go
Yeah.
for it.
Well,
You
and
can even,
like you said, I agree 100%. Men are so confused because, I mean, and you know what? Don't get me wrong. I love that we have equal rights and we can do all the things that we couldn't do right back in the day. However, we have lost our femininity. We have lost, I mean, we're not allowed even to be called women anymore.
say all the time, I didn't vote for all that women live
Oh,
shit. And
no,
you know, I understand, but I'm a more of a traditional girl. I'll even be the type, having been a businesswoman independent, I'm not so sure the grass looks greener on the other side to me. To
exactly.
You're taking care of your family, you're doing the cooking. Those are things I enjoy doing.
Oh,
So
you know
I
what?
am perfectly fine staying home and cooking and cleaning, and you take care of all the bills coming in. That gives me a headache as I get older, looking at numbers and, just the other day trying to do insurance. All right, you got to look at five different companies. Which one's doing it? Well, this one offered. I don't want to do that shit
It's
anymore.
so time consuming. I find sometimes I'm on the computer for 3 hours trying to figure out insurance and trying to figure it's like, what have I done with my day? And then I still have to cook and clean and all the things and be the mom. So I'm telling you what, I it's and I joke all the time saying I want a sugar daddy, but I would love somebody that did that. I have friends that are housewives, and you know me, I have worked my ass off, two, three jobs on my life. I've toured, I've done all the things. I would absolutely, with all my heart, and I've felt this way for quite a while, love to have a man that could support my family
Oh,
so that I could, because the thing is that people don't understand what I do and what you do at home is work. I mean, I got up this morning at
yeah. That's
6:30.
why I say I didn't vote for the women's lib.
Yeah.
I go to work my ass off and say he works as well. But then why is all the house my responsibility? Shouldn't we be sharing if we're both sharing, bringing income in?
Yes.
We
You
messed up, ladies. We missed
So,
a
yeah, so if
step
we're
there.
both working, we both take care of the house. If one of us is working, sometimes the man doesn't have a job. I mean, like there was a time where I was the only one working
Yeah.
and I'd come home and the house was clean and the dinner was made.
Well, that
That,
was not me when my
that
husband
I
didn't
was
work.
very
And I'm like,
fortunate.
could you at least take the trash out? I'm working all day. Yes, somebody, whoever is not working, definitely should pick up the slack. And I
But
tell my
we should get
grandmother all
paid
the time,
for housework. It should be a
or at
job.
least get a peek. You know what? If we're doing the bills, I get to keep a little bit back because I'm getting paid for doing the housework,
Yeah. Well,
right?
exactly. But yeah,
Well, I
but
did tell
no.
my girlfriend the other day, she said, what do you think you would want? And I said, honestly, and this is not for everybody. I get that. This is for me. I want the guys I grew up with Midwestern values. They're very good values. They just are. And anytime I tell somebody I'm from Indiana, I almost always get the comment, "Oh, well, you have good values," because you just do.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to live paycheck to paycheck, which unfortunately is a tough one no offense, but it is when you go with the Midwest values. I don't need you to buy me a Louis Vuitton. I've had them. I need to get rid of them right now. I've had everything I want in my life. I honestly really have. Now, jokingly, yes, the mansion and the yacht, no. But just like you said, just support so I don't have to work, go through the mental stress, knowing I have to change my lifestyle though.
Yeah.
It'll be a budget, I need to live within.
But at the same time, can you imagine all the time you could spend in that beautiful yard of
Oh,
yours?
and
And
not be exhausted.
exactly. It's just like I got up at this morning at 6:30 so that I could be on time for our live because I have to get up and I showered and then I have got two bunnies and two cats and that sounds dumb and I have Santa Claus Christmas, right? So
Right?
it took me an hour and a half just to get the morning thing done so that I could do
What up, I
this.
call it.
And then I have a double today. I do two shows and I love what I do, but I want to sing for fun. I want to sing for the love of it instead of singing to have to pay my bills, and
It was
maybe,
my job. I just want
maybe
to do it when I want to do it and not be a full time.
no,
And you're right. Got up this morning. Of course, I mentioned earlier in the live, they painted. So I'm like trying to get all my clothes hung back up in the closet, all of this stuff before meeting with you, get the laundry, go, oh, today's trash day. So I got to go around, empty all the trash cans, put the trash out, which also means doggy poop update. Literally before when I sat down, ready for the live, I'm like, why do I feel like I've already worked a full day?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No,
But,
and
we
it's
also
nothing
have to,
that's not a complaint. All the things we're
no,
doing are things in our lives and we love to do it.
I choose to have them in my life,
Yeah, I
just
chose to
like the
have
dog.
bunnies.
Yeah. But, as we say this as women, our want list, and I'm sure there will be men that roll their eyes and go, yes, I am well aware that if you give up some of the directing of life in your relationship, then you have to do that as well. You
Yes.
know, you have to pick up after them. If you're not working and they're working, you can't have them come home and you're bitching that, hey, that's your job, in my opinion. Again,
I
it's my opinion.
no, I agree.
My job is to take care of the house. And if that means he leaves stuff, he doesn't make the bed, he leaves toothpaste in the sink, that's part of my job for not working. That's part of my reward. I do it and I don't bitch. And
Well,
I know
yeah.
men right now hopefully are going, Amen. Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Because the
But
fact that women sit there and don't work and then their husbands or significant others come home and they're like, you didn't do Hey, you can't have your cake and eat it too, ladies.
yep, and then vice versa. If you're home all day and you're doing those things and they come home and it's not quite perfect, that's just another conversation. You have to talk. You know what I mean? But I agree. I didn't work for about 6 months when I was married, first married 100 years ago, and that house was spotless. I'm not a chef, but I had dinner on the table. I I did everything I could. I did special things. I took care of the art, and I loved every single second of it. And so when my husband came home and he worked hard, he
You didn't
didn't
have to
have to
clean
work hard. Then
up.
it was done. And then this is the thing that people don't understand. If it's all done, then guess what happens at the end of the day? You get to relax and spend time together.
And
If you
everybody's ready
don't,
to have sex.
yes,
You can
exactly.
say it.
Well,
When you
but
come home and
that
bitch
was
at
just even
him,
part of it. But no
he's
matter
not in
what
the
you're doing,
mood. And the other thing I think, and I'm not saying I haven't been guilty at this at time. I mean, I've always worked, but still guilty of times is, ladies, if you choose your job is to be a housewife, then don't expect your husband to come home every day and go, thanks for emptying the dishwasher. Thanks for cleaning that. Are you thanking him and going, what'd you do today, honey? Okay, well, thanks for doing that. You got to remember it's your job. Now, man, I'm not giving you 100% pass.
no, 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 because it's
You
still our home,
you
right?
don't need to individually say each thing, but as it being the job, occasionally you need to say, honey, thank you. You do a great job taking care of our house.
And just show
Yes,
appreciation for each other.
can't be every day, don't expect it every day. And then I have to throw that out there too, because in case there's a man that, you're getting the rules here, you might as well know them. One being a lady and one being 55. I do need you to take the trash out. It's heavy. Every time, and I don't even get that, I don't let it get that heavy, but I did this in my last two relationships and it went really well. This was never the problem in the relationship. I said from the very beginning, let's sit down and make blue jobs and pink jobs. You tell me what you think should be a pink job. I don't even like the color pink, so you girls out there that I'm going too feminine, I just thought it was cute.
Yeah,
And
it is
and
cute.
I'll tell you what I think is blue. And then you tell me what of that blue that you're like, no prob, no prob. And then we put the shitty jobs in the middle that nobody wants to do
And
because
divvy
there's
them up.
always and divvy them up.
I love that.
And divvy them up honest. If you're doing one that's really shitty, then I got to take two.
Yeah.
And have those not maybe the first date, but definitely before you move in together.
Yeah.
Definitely before you move in together, whether you get married or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part is lack of communication.
I agree. And you know what? And you can't, like
Expectations.
you said earlier, you can't be bitchy either. So this is a lesson that I learned is that I don't think there's a man alive that knows how to put a trash bag in the trash can. But I used to just piss me off because they take out the trash. I'm like, and then I go to throw trash. I'm like, shit, put my trash down, put the trash bag in. Then I stopped myself one day and went, wow, Danica, they took the trash out, put the damn bag in the trash and shut up.
Great example.
And
Yeah,
just like
and
with
you're
the
right.
toilet,
They don't.
and
But
just
the
with the
other thing they
toilet
won't
seat.
do, they will not go empty every trash can before they take that trash out. To
So you got to
me,
make, oh, I didn't think
on
about
trash
that.
day, every trash can has to be clean at least for 5 minutes. So I
Exactly.
go around and I empty everything. I look for trash to put in the trash bag.
I do too.
They're not going to do that.
I
Again,
didn't
if
think
you're
about
that
that.
5% that does, yay, good for you. But we're talking, you're right. So
But
on
pick your
trash
battles,
day,
right?
put all the trash in there. And then when he gets done, put the trash bag in.
And say
And guess
thank
what?
you.
Both are happy and both of you get sex that night.
Well, and the same thing with the toilet seat. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I know women can't stand it, but I'll tell you this. They have to lift it up, right? Why can't we put it down? I mean, I actually I put the lid down. I don't like open toilets and I don't like,
I'm the
I
same.
have to close my
That's my
shower
argument.
curtain.
Let's just
But
put them all down so it looks
yeah,
nice. In my job, I'm so used to toilet seats need to be down to look, nobody wants to look at a toilet bowl,
right.
especially if there's
But
not
it's
anything
just, but still at
inviting.
the same time, I don't walk in and if it's left up, get pissed. I'm like, well, they had to put it up. I can put it down. It takes not even a whole second. It's just like done, sit down, pee, and shut
Good.
up. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, and
You
I
know?
tell you even better, and this
I
happened with my
oh
first
God.
marriage, and I've continued it throughout. If all possible, have two bathrooms.
Yeah. Have his bathroom and her bathroom. Yeah. And
You
then
know
he's
what, honey?
responsible.
You do whatever you want. You want to look at the mirror that's got spit toothpaste all over it. You want to look at your whisker hairs in the sink. You want dust, and not all men, again, I know some of you are clean, but the majority, pattern of behavior. The toilet seat,
Who
knock
cares?
yourself out. The
And
only time,
then
well,
go
I just
ahead.
say, the only time I'm going to ask you to clean it is if company's coming over.
Nobody's coming.
Unless you have a
Or
bathroom that they're not going to use.
right. Or
And
every
like you
once in
said
a
before,
while.
don't go in that bathroom. I don't ever go in there. I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Use mine.
Yeah. Yep. I had that too with, well, yeah. But then the other thing too, though, is that also because they're working and working hard, if you're not working, every once in a while, go in and clean that bathroom.
And
Right.
don't bitch.
And don't
Don't, I
bitch.
mean,
Just
grow up.
then they get home and it's like, wow. It's just that extra thing that we do.
But when you do that, don't move his shit.
Just clean it. Yeah. Just clean the mirror,
I did
clean the
that once. I
sink,
was like,
clean the
oh, let's
toilet. That's it.
put all this shit up and put it in the cabinets. No, they don't want it to look nice and neat. Just clean. Don't
Yeah.
organize.
Clean, yeah.
Just clean.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we are almost at 30 minutes. So we should sign off for this afternoon. I don't even know what we talked about. It was so much fun.
I
I
think
love it.
we
I love
talked
it.
about if you want to be in a relationship, here's some hints that we're taking for ourselves too, and
Yes,
reminding ourselves when we're in a relationship.
that's right.
Everybody wants to be happy. Nobody wants to get in a relationship and break up 2 months, 5 years later, whatever.
20 years later. Exactly.
But we're also talking about the benefits of what the 50 plus. If you had
Heck
had
yeah.
this conversation with me when I was in my 20s,
It'd have
I
been
would
so
have
different.
argued with about 80% of that.
Yeah.
Well, they take the trash out. Why can't they just put it in? I mean, obviously it needs a new trash bag. I
Yep.
think as you get older, you get wiser. And
Definitely.
I find when people get married later in life, unless their marriage is already working, but when they do get in that relationship later in life,
It's a
it
whole
works a
different
little
ball
bit
game.
better because everybody's a little bit more appreciative of what the other one does and considerate. Yeah.
I agree. I
So there,
agree. And
we have solved
you,
the world's problems of relationships today.
yes, we
You're
did.
welcome.
Yes, we did. And when you sit on Santa's lap, don't be afraid to ask for a damn Lamborghini.
And if you don't know what that means, you should watch our live episode on YouTube for this week.
Yes. All right. We love you guys, and we will see you next time. Thank you, What the 50 family.
Yeah.